All right. The title of this is Empathy is a Two-Way Street, Not a Dead End. And I did a little speech on this to a degree. This was my response to someone trying to guilt trip me. So it's a little done in a word, I guess a spoken word poet. Here we go.
My response to someone trying to guilt trip me. So you assert that no one sent you, yet you stand before me as a self-appointed judge claiming I must atone for the sins of history. You point to nations plundered, to resources seized, and insist that because men who shared my skin tone or distant ancestry committed atrocities, I am somehow complicit, my guilt inscribed at the moment of my conception. My story, you see, begins with the spark, my fertilization, and ends when the worms claim my bones. I am no eternal avatar of the past. I am a man, bound only by my own actions. Yet you demand I surrender my resources, my borders, my peace to parasites, to criminals, murderers, and rapists under the banner of historical grievance. You wield the cudgel of collective shame, insisting that because others, long dead, did terrible things, I must now open my arms to the ungrateful, the violent, the entitled. I reject this outright. If all you bring to my door is the ghost of yesterday's wrongs, I will not yield. I will resist you with every fiber of my being. Your approach to me, my family, my friends, will be met with defiance by nature, by reason. I will fight to keep you and yours at bay. My well-being, my sovereignty are not yours to claim. Prove your worth in the present, or take your guilt-ridden demands elsewhere. I owe you nothing.
Well, here we are.
We are here.
Yeah,
so is Wilford Brimley Rabbit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking of a little something here.
Yes.
And we both have dealt with people who do not see empathy as a two-way street.
I will tell you something as a minor study in my profession at the time. Wow. There is a misunderstanding of empathy, of what empathy is, how it's displayed, how it's shown, and it was always a frustrating issue to tackle or area to tackle.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are groups today. There are people and there are groups, and we've all dealt with people for whatever reason, whether it's mental illness, whether it's a personality disorder, or whether they're just schmucks and toxic egotists. We've all dealt with human beings that are not fair-minded, that are not, that only take. And I've had personal experiences where I've given to somebody out of the kindness of my own heart, and what ended up happening was the feeling of no good deed goes unpunished. And I mean, when I stopped giving to them, then I became an enemy. And when when I asked for reasonable boundaries, they became very upset, and that made me weary of doing anything good for somebody who's down on their luck. Because a lot of times when somebody or even a collective group is down on their luck, there's more than likely a reason for that. And that reason isn't just that society did them wrong. It's that they behave badly and they burn a lot of bridges. Do you have a response to that, Joey?
You mean just in general going down in a ball of flames?
Yes.
The old kamikaze move. Did your dad have any sayings that went along with the kamikaze mythos? Or
he basically said, he knew the bums. This one is kind of funny.
Yes.
Mirroring.
Mirren.
But he knew he knew about parasites and the bums because he was once a bum and he knew all the tricks of the trade. And he said, "There's only room for one bum around here, and that's me." And that's kind of the way it goes.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel the same in my family. Very similar sort of connection to that.
So you also wrote just a little song, and because and then we'll we'll play this, and then we'll get back to some more bloviating on
maybe a little bit on. Well, maybe we'll talk a little bit about empathy.
Empathy, and how empathy should be a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street.
That's right.
And you don't want people taking advantage of you, and only taking and taking like a parasite. Here we go.
Double standards for sure.
All right. So, oops, gosh darn it. So, empathy is a two-way street, a fragile bridge built on mutual respect, not a one-way shoot of exploitation. or exploration. Is it exploitation? When you offer your heart to an ingrate, whether a lone soul or a faceless, grasping horde, you're not sowing seeds of appreciation. You're churning the waters for a parasite with a grasp with a gaping, endless maw. Picture yourself in a shadow forest, tossing dripping hunks of meat to a hulking, slathering bear. Its eyes glinting with primal greed, its claws flexing in the dirt. Each morsel only whets its hunger, each gesture of goodwill stroking its feral craving. Then comes the moment. Then comes the moment your satchel empties. The last crumb falls. The wind carries away your floating safety. The beast rears up, jaws unhinged, hot breath fogging the air. And you, once the generous feeder, become the feast, torn apart by the insatiable monster you mistook for a friend. Joey, any response?
I do. I think you could apply the same to relationships and how many times people get guilt tripped into understanding someone's toxic behavior. Like you have to see it from their perspective or you don't get it, kind of thing. And what happens when the same courtesy isn't given back? And there's like that imbalance. So real empathy isn't about self-annihilation. It's about endlessly carrying the weight of others, maybe.
Yes.
While they refuse to do the same thing. It's about shared responsibility and to see and hear and respect and all those other things. So, yeah. Otherwise, it's just a one-way street.
Yes, correct. And, gratitude shines through in stark contrast. It's a beacon of reciprocity. And the lone thrives, it thrives on giving back. And there are people like you. Have you ever loaned money to an ingrate and a person who will not give you back?
Yes. I've been on both ends of that, actually.
Oh, you've been a butch.
I was never too bad. I usually, coughed it up when I had to, but, talking about waiting till the last minute and then, you just put off. But then there were other times where I was the lender and got burned. Not as bad as you. You've been burned a couple times.
Yeah. And my kindness for weakness. And I'm always, like a rather, nice and giving person. But I've noticed that it's like losers tend to attach to me. And if you're a culture that always needs a handout and is always seeking, always blaming somebody else for your problems, it really is a loser mentality. It's a parasite. It's really a parasite's mentality, because parasites blame other people, and they are constant. They are often master manipulators, master controllers.
And that's true. I mean, I think a lot of people do it, but I'm as guilty as anyone did. it's so insulting. It's how I was raised, or it's what I was exposed to, or whatever. But I think standing up and taking charge of all that was one of the highlights of I guess being an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good feeling, even if it's hard to kind of get there.
Yeah. And like I said, master, the master manipulator and the master controller. Now, you've also, you've helped out a guy, and he turned out to be a true Schmuckelstein. And basically, the person you felt sorry for, there are times when a person you feel sorry for and want to help becomes a person that turns on you and becomes an enemy.
Yeah, maybe I've been accused of not reaching out enough sometimes because I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't like to get burned, but yeah, I think we've all been there. I think that's part of growing up.
Yeah, yeah, and a delicate bridge woven from mutual.
How would you think that same question would get fielded in the Chaotic Truth channel?
Well, I don't know. I mean, again, he would agree with it, but there are a lot of people on there that are on the victim bandwagon, and they believe that there are FBAs on there that believe that they have been.
By the way, what is FBA?
It stands for Foundational Black American.
Okay.
And I might just do like a white guy on the wall.
Now, because in my profession, that actually has another meaning altogether. So it's kind of interesting. It's a behavioral analysis, and so I found that very interesting that the acronyms are the same.
Yeah. Well, I want to just say that that term found. I mean, it was. There were other terms that were American, original, like that stood for descendants of American slaves. So this kind of thing has been played out many times, a few times, and it's kind of recent. And it was Tariq Nasheed that has come up with that term. And the thing is, he's been a con artist and I believe that he has been a con artist and a person that is a supreme egotist, if not a full blown narcissist, for years. And I don't know how he gets his money or what way he gets his money, but there are a lot of people that buy into his, because basically Tariq Nasheed is someone who deals with those who consider themselves disenfranchised. He deals with their ego, and he really strokes it with. He did a thing called Hidden Colors that basically said you have a hidden history, and a lot of the same toxic Afrocentric baloney that's out there. And now, again, he's claiming another thing called FBA, and their whole thing is that they want reparations for slavery and past injustices done to blacks, and just a part of me that this is a complete manipulation, and that there has been redress and things given to blacks, but I think it's to a degree kind of hidden. There's really hidden, what do you call it? Hidden reparations or hidden restitution that has been given to Black Americans. but that is something that the internet now hides. I mean, they used to have there used to be a thing called Brainy Facts that had the raw numbers of people on welfare. I'm not going to get in I'm not going to get into the whole statistics, but I just remember seeing those numbers, and they're not the numbers that everybody thinks. And then I remember there was a Donahue show about welfare, and it showed a completely different aspect of who's receiving welfare, who's receiving benefits.
I hear a lot of that mentioned on Chaotic Truth about the early talk shows that you're mentioning. Do you notice that as well?
What? The early talk shows? Well, I remember some of the early talk shows out there that are no longer allowed online because they go against a certain narrative. And the progressive left wants to control the narrative on certain subjects, and they will hide information and distort the numbers for their own ideology. And it's really kind of disturbing because you used to be able to Google anything and it would give you the information, it would give you websites. And since the ADL, to me, the ADL is the main perpetrator of the people that have changed the information superhighway to a place that cuts out information because they believe that the masses cannot decipher what is good and bad information. And a lot of times these people do lie in order to gain advantage. And when people ask for data and stuff like that, it's harder to come by because there is so much lying going on and distortion going on. The one main thing is what happened in England with regards to the grooming gangs, which has been inadequately exposed due to the fact of the progressive left and their ideology.
I think an even bigger situation has been the algorithms on main search engines. So, but there is a request for one of your songs. So just so you know, might be time.
You know what? I'm going to do a song that's fine. Let me do. You know what? I'm going to do a. Let me see. I don't want to do Peekaboo. Let me see which song I want to do here. I'm going to do MAGA Civil War, just because we're in that time right now. We're talking about the culture war and about empathy being a two-way street. So I'm going to play a song called MAGA Civil War. And I'm not going to go as long as I've gone before. So, let me just play the song.
Elon's rockets reaching stars. Vivek's ideas changing bars. Tech giants call for open doors. Who fights next in this grand tour? In the streets they shout and scream, dreams of silicon gleaming team. MAGA crowd holds up their signs. lights within the night. Which way flows the future's light? In the streets they shout and scream, dreams of silicon gleam and team. MAGA crowd holds up their signs, watch the battle, read the lines.
Whoa,
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
we are, and to a degree, there is there is a complete, and this culture war is going on many different types of directions. It's not just a one-way issue, but there is disagreement within the conservatives, within the liberals, and again, the liberals and the leftists are at each other's throat, and we are at. I don't know if we're at an impasse or what's going to happen. I mean, there is a lot of uncertainty right now, and there's been real, Joey, I've never felt more uncertain
Mhm.
than during COVID and post-COVID. These are really scary times
Eh,
for me.
yeah. I mean, every day is a little bit of a battle. I don't know if that was due to maybe like just a complete slowdown of good quality news or what, but yeah, it seems like there's a little bit more of a war of attrition going on.
Yeah.
Mir. Now, we do have a few people listening. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave comments, do all that. Get involved. It helps the flow. All right, what are you going for there, Brian?
I'm just thinking here. I'm just thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking it's better to be mean than tough.
All right. I think that works.
And that's what I'm going for.
All right. Well, then I'm sure that you'll have something there. In the meanwhile, we can. Where are you at with that?
Well, swung an iron fist of spite, but toughness beats meanness. Cruel hacks like him see the grip, and then he's begging for scraps of attention. I'm just thinking here, mean beats. I mean, it's better to be tough than it is to be mean. Mean guys, sooner or later, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And if you don't know how to treat people with mutual respect, you're going to be, you're going to be alone. If that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Learn to love.
Learn to love and learn to be fair. And treat others in the manner that you want to be treated. And again, we're not necessarily seeing much of that. And again, you and I both have personal stories of people who've taken our kindness for granted, and maybe they personally cannot help themselves. But are we their therapist? Are we to take everything Are we to give in to every whim?
Absolutely not.
And I see that what we're doing now, I feel like we're giving into every whim. Like our culture is giving into every whim without
Oh yeah,
discussion.
but that's not new. I mean, I've told you this before, but Google started out as a much different company, and their original moniker was to do no harm. They've
Yes.
since removed that, but I mean, it shouldn't be any surprise. Any kind of problems we face, we've created for ourselves,
Yes.
and that's ramped up. I would say in the last 15 years, it's really ramped up.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, it's ramped up, and people have taken over. The people who have taken over.
Yeah, I think all of this may have been a change of guard, Brian.
Well, the people that have taken over our establishment, they are not objective people willing to listen and hear you out. It's not about because it's not about mutual empathy or mutual understanding. It's about conquest. And there are people out there that believe that they are so right that they don't even have to hear you or listen to you. And what do you do with a person like that? How do you handle them? I mean, we've all, like many of us have had parents or a supervisor who would fire you on the spot if you did not pay attention or do as they say. And again, online, used to be a place, YouTube used to be a place where a poor average schmo that couldn't necessarily make it in the entertainment industry, who wouldn't be given a shot or a chance, could go on and really shine. And that's not the case anymore because
Well, that was the change of guards, Brian. That was the mainstream media. That was all of media telling you and me and everyone that they're here. They're here now. Move over or get off the stage in many cases.
And in my disagreement with a lot of people is I believe a lot of their motivation is out of their ego, and they actually believe that they are doing the right thing for society by censoring. And they even believe that debate and discussion is too dangerous to have. And I don't want to be, the thing is, I'm fine if they don't want to discuss or talk to me, but why not leave the rest of us alone? Why do you have to demand that everybody else fall into play? And I know I'm asking the question at the wind because you're not the person that that deals with it. I mean, like that are in the levers of power who make these decisions. But I've always been kind of curious to, why you think, it's too dangerous for people to hear information. And I remember, I guess it was after Charlottesville, where the censorship started to happen because they thought, I guess the mustache man would rise from the grave. And we have a lot of post-World War II thinking that that believes that certain types of thoughts are just too dangerous to be bantied about, and they'll call it as they'll name it fascism or they'll name it Nazism, and it's like, and they continually move the goalposts to gain advantage. And like I said, we're living in a world and in a society that wants to that weaponizes offense. and the dead air. So I'm going to play another song, and then I think we will perhaps call this show a day. But since I've heard of, and the truth is, yeah, I'll go into some more concise thoughts about what's going on, what I believe is going on in the internet, and how people have become less accessible because of certain things. Anyway, I'm going to play the Ballad of Stabby McHugs. He has passed away. There's another person I think has passed away. I really believe it. Could be wrong, but it seemed reliable. Anyway, let me.
Oh boy,
What's that?
the rumors might be true.
You know what? Sometimes rumors are true. Sometimes rumors are flat out lies. Or they're just, like I said. Anyway, let me play this real quick, and then we'll finish this off with a tight little bow.
1, 2, 3. He was the legend of the web we know. Stabby mugs put on a show, trolling hard where the voices flow. Blog talk radio set to go. Dobby Daily gave him fame for free, talked about him endlessly. Mr. Midnight Movie took the cue, put Stabby on and views just grew. Stabby more hugs, what say you? Stirring trouble out of blue, laughing loud till the morning dew. Trolled the best and all they knew. Threads ablaze with his clever mirth, proof that trolls were more than worth. Never saw his face but read his prose, heart of fire beneath the screen's glow. In each comment left a spark, turning midnight into dark. Entertained with playful quirk, left his mark with every smirk. Stabby more hugs, what say you? Stirring trouble out of blue, laughing loud till the morning dew. Trolled the best and all they knew. In each comment left a spark, turning midnight into dark. Entertained with playful quirk, left his mark with every smirk. Stabby lugs, what say you? Stirring trouble out of blue, laughing loud till the morning dew. Trolled the best and all they knew.
As I strive, my ego is my drug, and Stoicism is my rehab. And just trying to, external and internal mastery. I'm actually fasting today, and I battled a little bit of the hunger pains. I almost gave in to DoorDash and ordered a deep dish pizza, but I didn't, and I won't. I won't do that today.
Until when? I mean, what are you holding out for?
My health. I mean, I'm diabetic, and
Now, you have been fasting, I think, right?
yes, I'm fasting today.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. The ego's narcotic, a cheap, dripping syringe of delusion, pumping mean-spirited trash through trembling veins, turning a sniveling cowards into a puffed-up tyrants, drooling up their next hit of self-worship. Stoicism's rehab, a brutal detox forged by Marcus Epictetus and Seneca. Toughness is their cure, not meanness. Whimpering relapse. Marcus, the emperor of ice, stabbed his ego dead with duty, ruling a world of worms while staring down death's grin. Epictetus, the slave, who broke his own chains, laughed at the ego's junkie shakes. You've got your will, he snared, or he snarled. Quit begging for more. Seneca, that sly bastard, cut through life's poison with stoic blade, smirking at Nero's tantrums, while his own blood spilled. Meaningless egos overdose, petty shrieking, weak, while Stoicism rips out the needle, forces you sober, control. Control what you can, ditch the rest, or rot in your own stinking high. Toughness, cleanness. The mean just puke and plead. Oh. That was a long-winded tale of caca. And sometimes my reading gets good, sometimes it gets bad, Joey. But I think objectivity and reason are needed in this world, and discussion. Even the enjoyment of discussion is needed, and we don't have that anymore. Primarily because of the left. It used to be the religious right, but today it's the fanatical left that has the progressive left that has taken over speech and has truly weaponized defense. Joey, do you have anything to say before I call this show a day? Because I don't want to start bloviating on freedom.
Not really. I mean, I can see where you're going, but yeah, I think we're at an impasse here. So,
well,
if you want to keep going, go.
I'll just bloviate a little bit. We are dealing with the forest. We are dealing with the forest of a long list of oppressive things pinned on a wall by egotists who think that they know what is best for you or me. and they think they know what is best for everyone. Our larger culture has been hijacked by cluster B behaving mid-witted morons who basically think of themselves as morally superior to the rest of us. And it just kind of stinks. The stench is high, and it hopefully
It's here. It's creeping over. It's lingering over us. We're trapped in a car, and it's just everywhere.
The car is going over the bridge. The car is going over the bridge because we don't want to deal with these morons anymore. We'd rather sink it right into the water, to the icy water, and just say, you know what? I'd rather be around the icy water that will suffocate me, and the piranhas that patrol this water that will eat my flesh while I'm still alive, than deal with these egocentric monsters that have come about through our establishment, these self-deluded imbeciles that think they know everything that is best for you and everything that is best for society and want to stifle our freedom. Yeah, I'm better at the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the sea, because at least with the creatures there, the crocodiles and the sharks are the hyenas of the wild. At least I know that they're there to do me harm and make me suffer. With these guys, they think they're doing you good, and I'd rather be eaten alive by an angry hyena than I would be deal with a egocentric buffoon who traps me in a cage for the rest of my life. Joey, do you have anything to add before I call this show a day?
That was quite a rampage. Let's leave it at that.
All right, let's. This one is called The Stoic Heart. I'm going to end it on this. I hope you've all had a good time. Again, I feel like we're dealing with midwits who are very cruel on a Pol Pot level of fanaticism, who think they know what's right for everything. We saw it in 2020, and these morons, they're not going anywhere. They are they still have power, and they're going to cling to it like a starving man clings to the last cookie. Here we go.
In the palace, shadows stand, Marcus with a thoughtful plan. Life is fleeting, moments spent, just a man. Pages filled with silent cries, wisdom in the ancient skies, eyes that see through countless lies, just a man. You're just a man under the sun, seeking peace before you're done. Rise each one with a gentle hand, life we sculpt from shifting sand. Garden calm he roams, meditates on broken bones, legacy in humble tones, just a man. Victory and glorious cheers, haunted still by daily fears, washing sins with silent tears, just a man. You're just a man under the sun, seeking peace before you're done. Rise each one with a gentle hand, life we sculpt from shifting sand. Victory and glorious cheers, haunted still by daily fears, washing sins with silent tears, just a man. You're just a man under the sun, seeking peace before you're done. Rise each morn with a gentle hand, life we sculpt from shifting sand.
Perhaps we will need a stoic calm and a strong resolve. We are fighting a savage, culturally captured monster that will crawl from the muck, that has crawled from the muck and the egocentric dirt, and these people will basically do anything to keep their power and their.
I feel like I've been yelling this though since 2020, and I'm a little tired. And I think a lot of people are just tired. So, what do you recommend?
At this point, I just recommend exposing these people for who they are. We are living under a time of these people are absolutely monstrous, and they see themselves as noble, good people. And I want to expose them as the monsters and villainous human beings that they are. And the culturally captured Pol Pot villainous creatures that they are. They are very vicious, and I saw a vicious side of my fellow Americans, and I believe that there's a vicious side of my fellow Europeans, and they will lie in order to gain advantage, and they will lie about horrible, vicious things. There are many things out there, in my opinion, that have been inadequately exposed because of emotional rhetoric and nonsense. And my opinion is that we need a steely resolve, come what may. Hopefully men and women of still resolve not to give in to these really monstrous, awful, fake, phony, sanctimonious, virtue signaling human beings that have basically taken over our establishment with just vicious, terms. And it's like, again, they didn't ask you or me how to change certain basically terms of service. They do this on their own. And we are around, like I said, a very egocentric, ego-driven, monstrous people who, again, they're not going to give up power easily. And they lock themselves in their little doors because they don't want to have the discussion with you, and they're actually afraid of you. These are mean people, but I don't believe that they are tough. And what we need is tough resolve. Joey, do you have anything to say before I play some music? And I might end it, and then again, I'm on a roll right now.
Yes. Why stop it?
Why stop it? I've lied. I said I was going to stop. So I'm going to play. This is called Touching the Divine. I had a little inspiration when that song came out. So we'll play this one real quick.
In the quiet night, where the stars align, we search our minds for a sign. In the still of dawn, when the shadows are gone, we so fast. The light is never dead. If we lose that thread, we lose what's ahead. In our souls it's set, the light is never dead.
Who's that guy?
That last part of that song, you know, I'm reminded of Customato, who said that fear is a useful tool in fighting because if you can use it for your own purposes and you're aware of it, it can keep you alert. And I think that fear and anger are closely related. And a lot of times I think that we as people go from fear to anger. And what we should do is realize our fear because that keeps us intelligent. Before you go into the belly of the beast or you get into a conflict, you should be aware of your fear. And fear can paralyze you, or it can anger you and enrage you. And in both instances, you're going to do something that is foolish. And it is better to just be fully aware and present into what is going on, and know the punches, whether they're physical punches or they are verbal punches. Know what is being thrown at you, so you can respond effectively. Joey, do you have a response to that?
Yeah. And I've always been more prone to look at the physiology of these two things. And the main one, that fear, which is, pretty much all of us. I don't know anybody with absolutely zero fears, but the physiology is different from anger. And I think the primary difference is that fear activates the fight-flight response, whereas anger pumps up adrenaline and focus and prepares you actually for confrontation. Fear doesn't necessarily work that way. So, you're looking at two totally different impacts physiologically. That's all I wanted to add to that.
You know what I mean? And I'm not certain about the physiology, and I don't know like where the term is, but I know that sometimes when I've been afraid and the person making me afraid has often then turned into anger and rage. Because when people use fear as a tactic, it's very abusive. And, sooner or later, a lot of people will basically, rage against their abuser. And when that rage happens, a lot of times all bets are off. And the bear has been poked. And right now we're living in a time of fear. But what will happen when that fear comes to, I don't care, and I'm just going to rage? You're only going to see my rage. Yes, he was. He was very angry. And I heard he had a very high IQ, Charles Manson. And Charles Manson was abused for a lot of his life. And people can be abusive. And if you're too abusive, be careful, because the person you abuse could strike back at you in ways that you don't even know. I've been angry since I've been an adolescent, and I've been struggling with my anger since I've been an adolescent. And there are family dynamics that I won't get into, but I felt that I was treated unfairly, and I had the urge for retribution, and I had for retribution for different types of people. Well, I'm glad you think that. I'm not sure whether I have a high IQ or a low IQ, but to me, it doesn't matter if you have a high IQ or a low IQ. If you're a person, if you treat me with respect, and it's mutual, I'll have no problem with you. If you're an egotist who thinks they know everything, then I would certainly have a problem. And I just wanted to kind of get into the thought process that's kind of going around, and it has made me angry about the establishment, and maybe it's not healthy, and it's not intelligent, but I obsess at times over some of these people in their thought process, because to me, I see them as an extension of those that are basically turning our establishment into a very abusive system. And anyone who strives to shut you down and stop you from either talking or listening to somebody else, in my opinion, is an abuser, and they should be treated as such. Sometimes you have to, sometimes in life you do have to give in to an abuser, particularly when to do so, when to stand firm against an abuser would hurt you. You have to be strategic in your movement. And that's what I need to do, is to be strategic. Yes, I did have steel-toed boots, and I was ready for combat. Physical, and I'm glad that it happened less.
Were you ever kicked by a steel-toed boot?
Yes, I was kicked in the shins, and but I attacked him anyway. He was smaller than me, and he kicked me, and I smashed him. I smashed that person in the face.
I was on the soccer team my freshman year, and the coach wore steel-toed boots, and he would launch bombs at us. We'd have to deal with it the best we could.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Sometimes, I don't know, like there was all this toughen you up, and yes, there is a time where a gentleman did take a bite out of my sandwich, and I kicked him and I punched him, and the guy ended up pulling a knife on me. I guess he wanted another piece of the sandwich, but he wanted a piece of my flesh. And that was kind of foolish. I was bloviating to some dude, and the guy just said, hungry, hungry Carlos, and put his arm around me and took a bite out of my sandwich, and I threw it at him. And then I met him after work, and I kicked him and I punched him. And I guess because he was a strong guy, he thought he would have his way with me. And I was ready to, like as he was on the ground, I was ready to knee him, but he pulled out that knife, and he went to slice me like I was a piece of butter or a pancake. And that was certainly a mistake. Because I'm glad I didn't. He could have cut some vital organs, and I just said because he didn't want to continue either. He didn't want to get pummeled by me, and the knife was more of a defensive move of me not kneeing him in the ribs and maybe hammer fisting the temple of his head. But I'm glad. Oh, the shins do hurt when you kick the shins. They hurt, and if you smash someone in the collarbone too, it's a little surprise hit. Just a hammer fist or a palm strike to the collarbone is a very effective form of defense. But luckily, I've not gotten into any confrontation since I've been
keep your dukes up
in my 30s. Now that I'm in my 40s and my 50s, I have not gotten into any physical confrontation. And yes, the collarbone. The collarbone is a very sensitive area. And
it'll send shockwaves through your head.
Yeah. Yes. But you know what? I'm not a tough guy. I realize that. A couple times in the ring showed me that I'm not tough. And you got to be able to take a punch. And so I try to be tough. I try to be tough more than I try to be mean. And sometimes I do get a chip on my shoulder when I see buffoonery, particularly on the internet, man. You see so much, and maybe it's not necessarily it's real life, but it's not happening all the time. But God, you hear some of the things that you hear from our celebrities and our establishment media, our legacy media. They're so out of touch, and they're just so buffoonery that it does make me angry. And I do want to, there's a part of me that wishes I was there to give them the what for and to give them a piece of my mind on certain things that they've done and said. I mean, I'd love to meet with Johnny Greenblatt or any member of the ADL or a member of certain groups just to ask them some questions and give them my peace of mind in public. And basically, I would like to dress them down verbally and see how they handle it. No, I never punched a lady. Get out of here with that nonsense. Did I punch a lady? No. She was carrying a baby, not a spy cam.
What?
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Good God.
She gave you $20 is my recollection.
She did. She did give me $20, and I'm glad I got it. Oh my heavens. I know she she was Brazilian. What a lovely little lady. We've talked about Brazil. We've written about Brazilian women, and I think that would be also something that would add to our stoic calm if we had some.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, some Brazilian lovelies. It's something to think about. And as again, I am fasting. I don't think I've had French fries in. Has it been a year since I've had a good, tasty French fry? Joey, do you still have French fries?
You've had fried tacos, though.
I have had fried tacos. You still have French fries, Joey?
Once in a while. I was never a big fries guy. But,
you don't like them well done?
I do, yeah. Sometimes I'll make them, and they're great. But I'm not a big fan of deep fried shit.
Oh, really? I've never liked fried chicken, and I worked at Pioneer Chicken. That was one of my first jobs. And I
used to love Pioneer Chicken.
Yeah, and I was not a fan of that. I'd often go to Campos because I like Campos more than Pioneer. But a lot of people like Pioneer. But it was easier to make than hamburgers. Because you just put it in the grill and was it a cluck and a chuck for under $1, baby? Weren't those the days?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
So you really like Pioneer? Did you like it better than Fried?
There was one right near where I lived, and it was closer than Kentucky Fried Chicken or anything else. So Pioneer it was, and it was great.
Yeah, I mean there are people that love Pioneer more than they love Kentucky Fried. Now,
have you ever had Korean barbecue chicken or fried chicken?
I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of fried chicken, so I always get the.
Okay.
I'm a bigger fan of grilled. I like grilled fish. You like a good fish and chip. Um, uh, and also, have you ever had sweet and sour pork grill? I mean, like, was it grilled pork? I mean, a fried pork, and they have the sweet and sour dipping sauce.
Yes. Yes. Some of my favorite dishes.
I've had I've had the van ribs. There was a guy who sold ribs out of the back of his van, and I had a bad experience. Don't buy the van ribs. Just like don't eat the bad acid. It's a bad
Right.
trip. It's a bad trip. But you know, I think my two weaknesses right now are my overconsumption of food and my obsession with the culture war. I've never been more upset at our establishment institutions as I've been now, and that's not the stoic, calm way to do things. I am not,
It's not. It's not. I was protesting with my dollar though. I was not going to certain stores that required certain things, and these were places had been going to for years, and I just stopped going to them. And even now, I don't go to those places. So I don't know if it made any impact, but at least I feel like I did something.
And I think I am, I think I'm still kind of fat, but I don't really care anymore. And I used to, as I've said before, I used to have the thought process that, if I'm fat, that's okay. But, and it's unattractive. But the diabetes, I mean, I can't even, like I said, I used to enjoy really gorging out. And now I can't even enjoy the indulgence of a donut anymore because that could hurt me in the long run. And were you a fan of Norm's, Joey?
I always like Norm's. Soup and salad. Who does that?
Now, what was the main course that you got? Just a soup and salad, or did you get something more?
No. They did a decent steak for a while, but I don't even remember. But I've had everything on their menu pretty much.
Now, have you ever had steak and eggs?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had steak and eggs and then a side of pancakes?
I'm not an amateur, dude.
I said in lieu of the bread, let's do some pancakes, baby.
Yes.
Good Lord, I was a scarfer, and now I'm paying the price for being the scarfer. And now the internet has become. But people have reported me. They're doing it less on X, but when it was Twitter, I would get reported for all kinds of things on the internet for misbehavior. They said that I was abusing gay people, or I was, the post I put was threatening and insulting, and they would report me. And I'm like, God, why don't you just go away? If you're going to say something stupid. If you're going to say something stupid on, because I welcome feedback, even if it's negative. Maybe it's because I'm an attention whore, and like I welcome a good argument. It's usually women, by the way, that want to basically state things on the internet, and then they don't want any kind of talk back. They're very. Tim Pool, and I kind of agree with him on this. Tim Pool once said, women are communal and authoritarian. And on the internet, I kind of agree. There are a lot of authoritarian little ladies out there who want their way, and they want to post things that I think are hyperbolic and really stupid. And when I point that out, they get very angry and want to report me. They will either, at best, they'll block me, but sometimes we'll get into a conversation and they'll report me for abuse. And I'm like, you're the abuser, not me. I'm not the abuser. I'm like, you're the most abusive. You're the most abusive, evil person around, and you're accusing me? Are you kidding me? You're insane. One time, I told a woman that she's a grouchy lady, and she called, and she reported me for abuse. I said, but you're a grouchy, witchy woman. And, you could have called me another name, but she decided to report me to the principal. She went to, this was before Elon. She went to the bearded weirdo. I forget, or one of the Indian people who ran the place. And it's like, and it's still really awful. I mean, the algorithms, I would love to talk to Elon. Maybe one day I will. He's losing a lot of money, by the way, because people are protesting him. And, there was I think a group of people in Europe that burned his Tesla place to the ground. What a bunch of maniacs. And nobody says, what are these maniacs doing? Burning a business to the ground these people should be taken and made hungry, not starved, but maybe given one meal a day, maybe a bologna sandwich, maybe a bottled water and a bologna sandwich. And if I'm feeling generous, I'll put cheese on the bologna. But, and it's like, that's your meal of the day. You only need one meal a day to really survive. And maybe give him some trail mix or something like that as a snack. Maybe three half slices of a bologna sandwich a day is what they'll get in my jail. And when they learn to behave, they can come out, but they have to atone for their sins of reckless behavior. And eggs have gotten really expensive. Have you known that, Joey? No, don't eat it. Well, eggs are too expensive for these clowns.
The eggs have gone up.
Yeah. What they need is some Soylent Green. Maybe a few slices of bread and water, and have them work at the quarry. Yes, eggs have really gone up. And like I said, we're living in a time of just people are admiring people, and they're admiring movements like we're insane. $12 for an egg? What's going to happen during Easter? Huh? Joey, are the kids going to be able to have their Easter egg hunt?
I do have a song about pancakes.
Well, we'll put that song for later.
Yes.
Yes,
I don't know. There seems to be a protest against Easter.
Yeah, well, no, they're not a protest against Easter. It's basically these eggs have gone up so much. It's unbelievable. I'm just looking at it.
You know what? That must be what it is. I get it now. I just saw a lot of cracked egg jokes going around.
Meow. I've had a few songs here about the buffet man.
Play it.
No, well, I gotta download it, and it's not on my desktop. Boo hoo. Ooh. I don't think it's around. Wait, do I have the song? The Buffet Man? I don't think I do. I don't think I have the Buffet Man song. I have the Love Me song and Me in My Hand. I have the Madison about drunken buffoons. You know what? This song is not the best Todd song because I have two Todd songs, but it is kind of interesting, and you might find it kind of funny. Those that know who've been around us, this is King Todd of Todd Morris, and I think I'll play this puppy. And then maybe we'll end it. And then again, maybe we won't.
King Todd sits on his throne like a stone, while Queen Debbie plots when alone. JP with his jackal waits in the wings. His two-headed snake whispers nasty things. Who will rule this vile land? Made of lies and smelly hands. Secrets and shadows they creep. Promises they never keep. Debbie's smile hides a dagger. Every move makes her stagger. JP's jackal with sharp fangs whispers words that sting and hang. Who will rule this vile land? Made of lies and smelly hands. Secrets and shadows they creep. Promises they never keep. Poison poured in goblets fine. Life tangled like twisted twine. Schemes untangle, webs they weave. Who'll be the last to believe? Battles fought with words and grins. No one ever truly wins. Whispers echo through the night. Everything's a twisted sight.
All right. So, anyway, I thought I had the one that said, as they say in England, Allahu Akbar, because England seems to have been taken over by a large portion of Islam. And these are primarily Pakistani Muslims. They are not similar to those Muslims in Saudi Arabia or the Persian Muslims in Iran. They come with a different subset of values that are not necessarily respectful to the English people. Could be wrong. When my father was in the Air Force, he trained with the Saudi Royal Air Force, and he said the one thing that they like to do was party, and I think he said that they like to also drink, even though it was forbidden by their faith. Joey, do you have anything to add of what I've said?
No, not really. We have a very active chat board. Thank you. It's been really good. I'm having fun with that.
We have a few people. Oh wait, here it is. As they
Yes.
say in England, Allahu Akbar. And it kind of shows that, they say Putin's the really bad guy, but the West has been overtaken by large swaths of immigrants who seem to be rather ungrateful and are parasitical to the nation at large and don't add anything. And again, London is predominantly non-English. This is something that would never occur in Japan or Tokyo, Japan. You would never see the majority of people there being non-Japanese who live there. And our tolerance is met with scorn, not with love and delight. And that's one of the hypocrisies that I see in our Western world. We give in to ingrates. I don't have the pancake song. Make me some pancakes, and you make me a sandwich too. Joey, do you remember Nikki?
No, the pancake song is uploaded.
Did you upload the pancake song? Did you upload it on my media assets thing? Let me see here. Has it been uploaded?
It's pretty basic.
No, I only see the guilt song. I haven't seen the. Have you uploaded it to our clips?
Yeah, it's in there.
Let's see here. Doggy response. This is wired for guilt. I don't see it up there.
Yeah, it's there. It's called Flapjacks.
Maybe you and I are looking at different things, but I will go over all of our songs right now. What I see right now is
should be at the very bottom of the list.
Where did you put? Okay, let me take a looky here. The bottom of our playlist, where it says
That's
30.
right. Yes.
I am not seeing it. Let me go out one more time. Bring it back in. Media assets. I don't see it. I only see Wired for Guilt as our last song. I see Guilt Industrial Complex. My response. My response to Doggy. Crying on Television. The track, The Algorithm. Rosebud. Yeah, I don't see it here.
Yeah, it's a long list, but it's at the bottom.
Did you put it in the wrong section? Because there's background. You got to put it in video.
It's under video clips at 30.
Can you play it?
Yeah, probably. Let's see.
Yeah, just press the button.
Yeah,
Flapjacks. Oh, how I love some good pancakes. Syrup, butter, give me another. Flapjacks, pancakes. I eat them in my sleep. I wonder when I'll have another pancake. Pancake, syrup, butter. I'll take another.
What?
Oh my God! I'm sorry I did that.
You're a monster. Well, I mean, again, but you don't like you. Do you like Flapjacks, Joey?
Yeah, every once in a while I'll get a bug under my ass, and I'll get out of bed, and I'll make some pancakes, and it's great. There's also a really good. There's a couple places here that make really good pancakes. So every once in a while, maybe once a month, I get that deep urge. And yeah, butter and syrup. That's it.
Yes.
And I will not eat gluten-free pancakes.
Yeah, they're not that tasty.
I'd probably eat them, but I probably would not like them. All right. So, do you have another song?
Do I have another song? I have another background that I'm putting up here. That's what I'm thinking of doing right now. There we go. In midwit culture, and we are being ruled, I think, by midwits, by egocentric midwits, the buffoons.
Yes.
And or our culture.
Church.
I mean, you can be by yourself, and a lot of times people will basically leave you alone. You have the right to starve and go thirsty, but if you speak up, you can be punished for wrong think and wrong speak. And what do they say? There's free speech, but there's not freedom of consequences. My problem is, who decides these consequences? And I'm standing at the bus stop, Manny. Hopefully, you're the bus driver, and you take me to where I need to go, to the Flapjack House, or to the steakhouse. Coca-Cola, a joint, and was it amyl nitrates? Breakfast for champions. Good God. Yeah, take me to the steakhouse, and then maybe we'll have donuts for dessert. Joey, have you ever had a chocolate truffle?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever had a gourmet ding dong?
Yes, I have. In Culver City.
Aren't they delicious?
They're pretty good. Now, there was a donut shop over there that sold maple bars with custard right down the middle, and those were incredible.
Yeah, they basically were a product of the pandemic. That was one of the sad things, because I think you really enjoyed those, and I think you were one of the sad things. I like waffles, but I like pancakes better than waffles. I like the.
Have you ever gone to the Donut Man? The Donut Man.
I fought the Donut Man. No.
It's fantastic. He serves this giant donut covered in strawberries, and it's just incredible.
Well, I don't like fruit, so.
Yes.
And I have been fasting. I'm proud of myself for fasting. Hopefully, I can do that for 2 days, maybe even 3. I don't know if I can or not.
I'd like to work up to like a 2 or 3 day fast. We'll see.
Yeah, the longest I've gone is about 5 days, and then the hunger pains took over, and that was it. So, I think I'll call this show a day.
Yes.
And I'm going to end this out playing Mirnan's favorite song. And I think your favorite song on this list
is
Handley. This is from the 1950 movie, The Asphalt Jungle. I hope you've all enjoyed. And I want you to remember, at least for me, and this is more for me, is to be aware of my fear. For me, being aware of my fear, also with my anger, being aware of my hunger and my emotional self, so I can better handle the things ahead. And we are facing people who are culturally captured and will lie and deceive in order to gain what they want.
In a dusty old town, where the sun don't set. Lived a man named Dix, full of dreams unmet, with a heart full of hustle and a past so wild. He played his cards close like a lonesome child, a hand always gripping, never one to fold. Dix Handley sought fortune, more precious than gold. In the asphalt jungle, where shadows did creep, he planned his one score before he'd find sleep. Oh, Dix knew the stakes, danced with danger's thrill, with a dream in his heart and ironclad will. Just one more heist, then he'd be free, in the heart of the city where he aimed to be. He gathered his crew in a smoky back room, with eyes on a prize that would seal his doom. A plan so tight, not a detail amiss, but the jungle's claws gripped through the mist. The night fell hard and the city stood still. Dix moved in the shadows, chasing the thrill. A bag full of riches, so close in his hand, but freedom slips away like grains of sand. Oh, Dix knew the stakes, danced with danger's thrill, with a dream in his heart and ironclad will. Just one more heist, then he'd be free, in the heart of the city where he aimed to be.
There we go. Well, we are fighting a monstrous group, a very egocentric and monstrous people. I believe that we are up against a monstrous group of people who have no empathy, they have no mercy, and they will do harm to those who resist. And sometimes, what do you do with those who, with such a cruel person? Do you surrender to the monsters who will enslave you? Or do you just, I guess, not give up, fall on your sword? Joy, do you have anything to say before I call this show a day?
Get to the dentist. I think we're good.
Get to the dentist, and remember, is it safe? I'll play us out. I'm not going to play the whole song, but this is Mea Culpa.
man kneels down low, says these words real slow. Mea culpa, I know, fault I can't let go. May my errors show, deeds I can't bestow. Grievous fault will grow, burden truth I owe. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Through the tears I see ya, take the blame with no pausing. Through my trials I tread, guilty thoughts in my head, prayers that I have said haunt me till I'm dead. May my fault ring clear, no defense to cheer. Grievous faults I bear, speaking truth sincere. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Through the tears I see ya, take the blame with no pausing. Ooh. Through my trials I tread, guilty thoughts in my head, prayers that I have said hold me till I'm dead. May my fault ring clear, no defense to cheer. Grievous fault I bear, speaking truth sincere. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Through the tears I see ya, take the blame with no pausing. Mea culpa, maxima culpa. Through the tears I see ya, take the blame with no pausing. Ooh, my heart be clear.
Remember, in this world, you shan't be pardoned. Joy, do you have anything to say before I end the show? Hello?
For the 20th time, no. No, I'm kidding. I think we're done.
Good day, everybody. And remember, strive to both control your fear and your anger. And the first step is awareness of these tools. Thank you.